Okay. I had a whole spiel there that I was going on mute as well. That's what kind of day it was. But anyways, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and man, one of those days, man. Like always, joining me is GameTime Bryan. What's going on, Bryan?
Not good, man. Not good. I am stressed. Bad day today, work-wise. Horrible day as a Cowboy fan. I'm not happy about what happened yesterday. We're going to get into it. I don't care if people like it. If don't like it, I'm going to be real. I'm going to shoot it straight. And everybody's on the table to be ripped. That game should not have went the way it went down. Not happy at all. I'm sorry, and we'll get into it. How's everybody doing?
No, man, I'm with you, man. Yesterday I was pissed, man, and today I was kind of like, man, I don't want to do this thing. Like, it was just one of those things where I know when we've had crappy games this season, talking about it made me feel a little bit better. But man, after that one, like, and that second half, right, going into the halftime, I kind of had that feeling, like a feeling crept up again, where that Aaron Rodgers feeling, and it was just because they were allowing them to stay in the game. There were so many little things that were happening throughout the game that we'll definitely jump into. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, man. It just anger. Yeah.
This
Where do you want to
team
start?
refuses. This team refuses to just run away with the game. They refuse to have it easy. Yeah, by far they're the more talented team. It's ridiculous. And everybody's saying, well, you can't blame Kellen Moore.
I got it too.
Dak threw the ball way too much.
He dropped
way
back
too
like
much.
46 times, man. That was.
Listen, Dak is my quarterback. I love Dak, but he's not above criticism. We just can't keep blaming the receivers for everything. As a quarterback in the league, and I'm sorry, but making 40 mil plus, you have to be careful with the football, especially in the red zone. Okay? Points off the board. Now, let's look back. Even if it was a field goal, that was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
we'll get into it. We can start talking about the chat. Hey, guys, am I too loud? I literally just walked in. Let me know how my sound is.
I was muted, so that's how off everything was. He came in like 2 minutes before the broadcast, and I'm trying to get the audio to work.
It's been one of those days, and then I got to get inbox DM'd by Eagles fans all day.
Yep.
On Twitter. Like funny memes. Listen, man, us winning the division was going to be tight anyway. So we talked about it, Phil. I had us splitting in between this game and next game. Okay,
and that's what's happening.
I don't want to lose both, but,
no,
as much as I wasn't happy with the losses today, if we go in and beat Minnesota, all is well. Regardless, if we lose to Minnesota, we're making the playoffs. Minus any knock on wood major injuries, we're going to be fine in the playoffs. But I have no faith going forward if this is how the game's going to be called.
Well, especially
anyway,
in a
go
game,
ahead, Phil.
especially on a game. Well, games when you're supposed to win it. You have the talent. You're up ahead. 14 points in the fourth quarter. 195 games. Dallas hasn't lost by being up 14 points in the fourth quarter. Oh, whatever. The statistic is it still was just. I don't know, man. It's just running the ball. The running game was doing amazing. So that's what I'm talking about when you're talking about the game plan. Like we talked about the game plan with Cooper Rush being here was to rely on the defense. Now this is the first game for me where I felt like Dan Quinn was kind of out coached. The defense just seemed. Obviously there was people in the secondary that you can't help.
What's going on here? I don't know about you, Phil, but did you notice where was Jonathan Hankin in the fourth quarter? He wasn't on the field. So either A, the tape is showing that he's not getting the job done, or they just took him out of the rotation.
They probably thought they were going to run the
are you afraid that a team is going to pass on us? They were running the ball down our throat. They were running. They were running.
Yeah. And every team right now has a running back, so it's like, oh.
Yeah, well, we have a nickel defense in the game. That's the problem. they're running because we're using an extra safety, and that's all well and good. But we're running a nickel out, and teams are running against that. Maybe it's time to switch it up a little bit. And if we're going to run a nickel, okay, we can't let speedy rookie receivers get a free release off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
I've never seen nothing like it. You have to hit the receiver. Yeah, you have 5 yards.
Well,
You have to jam the receivers.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing to the Dallas young receivers.
Yeah, you need
can't
to
let
learn
them get a
how
free
to do
release.
that. Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I'm with you right there. Ugh.
I mean, you can't let him get a free release. We're let a so-so receiver get a free release. He's going to run by you.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, when I was watching that, even
doing?
Anthony Brown just like automatically right off the beginning, I was like, oh, this is how it's going to be.
Anthony Brown didn't.
Yeah.
Anthony Brown hadn't showed up this year, Phil. I don't know what his problem is.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing is like, as we're going into the season. I mean, we predicted a lot of this stuff, but I mean, you get hyped into the team and how young they are and the defense and how they've been doing well. And I'm not trying to take anything away from them because this was an overall team loss. I mean, it was just down to the coaching and everything. It just seemed like everything was off. Even down to the fourth quarter where you're making a call of going on 4th down when you could kick a field goal and obviously you're worried about future stuff that could possibly happen, but you don't know. You need to put points on the board, and so it's easy to say that when you went 2 4th downs and you got those, and then the third one you don't. So if you do get it, people are saying different stuff, but I don't know, man. It's just, to me, it just seemed like the game plan was totally off, and it just really did. You weren't putting people in a position to succeed, and anybody that was succeeding, we just kind of went away from it.
I agree. And Mark Holmes, I'm not happy. Listen, I did see a little bit that he's salty. I'm with you. That's a game that you can't lose. Okay. I mean, I have a pad here. I'm not gonna, go nuts on you guys, but, is it me? And I love Dak. Dak's my quarterback. I don't know what the hell's going on between him and the receiver. But when you're in the red zone, you can't carelessly, or even if you're not in the red zone, you can't carelessly throw the ball over the middle of the field.
When I'm looking back at those plays,
in the red zone, you can't do it.
People are talking about whole CeeDee Lamb gone in front of the safety. My whole thing is that, there was a connection there a little bit last night where they were kind of, eating. But in those plays, like, CeeDee has not proven that he's going to do that. So for Dak to decide that he's going to go ahead and throw
there's
that
too
ball.
Much.
Right?
There's too much, what do you call it when you decide to do your own shit? There's what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out. There's too much you're not running a route. How many times you see them like change the route? Like there's certain
freelancing
routes.
Stuff, just kind of like doing their own.
It's old school. You can't freelance. That's the word I'm looking for. You can't freelance. You have to run the route precise. Everything plays off of everything else. And when they do it, you see that it's beautiful and it always works. But maybe in the red zone or when it's really, really important, you run stuff to get people open. I didn't see them do hardly any 12 personnel. I didn't see them roll Dak out to create the lanes on a crossing route. I didn't see none of that. I saw him dropping back, 7-step drops, patting. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
And I wasn't happy about it, but, I did write this down. Cowboys passing game has too many two-way plays where it's up to the receiver to decide whether he breaks it off or he takes it up the field, and him and the quarterback have to be on the same page. Mm-hmm. Listen, man, if you guys can't get your shit together, you need to stop doing the two-way plays. Yeah. Does that make sense to you? You feel, it
makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
That's it. And there was one call
the 2 interceptions.
that
That's what
the game.
Got. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and there's one call in the game that I have no idea. We were running the draw play at will. They weren't able to ever stop the draw play. Never. So, I'm hearing people say, well, you can't blame Kellen Moore. He ran the ball 30 times. That's BS because you had Malik Davis was running great also.
Yeah, I mean that kind of was
Keep
the
running
little
it,
bright
especially
side.
when the game gets close. You keep running it. We ran all the way down there, but my main issue, and I want to hear from the chat. I want to hear what they think. Okay, in the press conference today, Mike McCarthy said that he knew that they were going for it on 4th down when it was 2nd down. Okay, so my question to you is, when it was 3rd and 4, and he had already established in his head that he was going to go for it, why didn't you run the ball?
Yeah.
Why didn't you run the ball on 3rd down? We needed 4 yards. We were averaging over 5. Malik Davis averaged, I think it was 7 yards.
See, when I'm looking at that
Why
time,
didn't
I
we run
think
the ball?
we were like 28-14 at the time, and I'm thinking, okay, man, we start running this ball because we've been pretty successful. I can be very close to right. We get another touchdown, and all of a sudden it's 35-14, and that was going to be where my prediction was, 34-13, and then the game just got out of hand. And I think that's the part where I see it just, unless they're doing the comeback themselves, it just seems like they don't know how to defend, the comeback. It's like they're in a prevent defense almost, but totally the whole team, and they just kind of, fumble it away. I mean, and so
Bottom line,
when you look at some of these teams like
everything you're saying.
Aaron Rodgers, you look at Tom Brady, you look at these guys that we haven't been able to, beat and put behind us and put to sleep. Maybe how the playoff kind of plays off. I'm not saying that there's teams that are going to make it and not make it, but what about this team comes back and all of a sudden you're having to take maybe, Brady, Aaron, and, these guys, you have to take a road to get to the Super Bowl. That's kind of scary because they have not been able to put these guys away.
And anybody that's talking about kicking the field goal, you're wrong. Okay, you shouldn't have kicked the field goal there.
I would have kicked it.
You saw the Green Bay guy miss the field goal. Okay, that was earlier in the game. It was an outdoor, wet field. That's just how it is there. It's hard to kick over 50 yards. Maher isn't very good for over 50. He's just not. Look at the stats.
Yeah, sure.
He wasn't going to make that kick. And if he was, you were giving Aaron Rodgers the ball back, and obviously you saw what happened. What you needed to do was run the ball on 3rd down. Okay? Worst case scenario, he only gets 2 yards. They weren't stuffing us all game.
No, that's
what
got
you
me.
saw Aaron Rodgers.
Why did we get
Is
away
everybody
from
happy? You saw Aaron Rodgers. He acted like he won the damn Super Bowl after the game.
Yeah, I mean,
this is what I was telling you about the other day when everybody was talking about we're going to blow him out.
Yeah.
I knew better, Phil.
Yeah.
I knew better. I didn't think they would lose, but very disappointed. This game is like the first game of the year to me. I walk away upset and frustrated, and
I agree.
we were never in the Tampa game.
Yeah.
Well, we were in the second half, but this game, these are the games that you look back and go, what the hell happened? And you saw Mike McCarthy. He's not a guy that shows much. He wanted that game, and his team, he let him down. Now, I don't know about you. I see him with a play chart. I see him without a play chart. I see him with a play chart. I see him. Is he calling plays or not? Somebody needs to be held accountable. Who's throwing the ball 45 times? Green Bay has the worst rushing defense in the league.
You got Eastside Herald in here. He goes,
I don't know,
teams
Phil.
from Texas are not going to make the playoffs. Looks like the same boat to me. No, I mean, AFC has a tougher whole conference, so it's hard to get in the playoffs.
They have a 98% chance to make the playoffs, Eastside.
Yeah,
That's
we're going to get it. And
not
you're
me
just hoping,
saying it.
You're just hoping that
That's
we
Vegas
hit the right position. But, I mean, they're right down the path that we predicted.
Put your money where your mouth is, Eastside. They're making the playoffs.
They were right down the path that we thought they were going to be in the beginning of the season. I mean, we thought there was going to be some losses here and there. We thought they were going to split some of these games. Even though this stuff is coming true, it hurts. It still hurts, man. It hurts to see. It hurts because when they lose these games that they're supposed to win, they lose them in just terrible fashion. It's hard to watch your team really kind of just implode and just not get it done. When you see the talent there, you see all of a sudden, they can be backed up for a mile and they get the first down. And you're just like, how badass would you be if you just didn't put yourself in that position each time, And then you got Tolbert, of course, lining up off sides. They're just little things. I mean, obviously it's just, maybe
that's obviously
fault,
why he's not seeing any playoff. That's why he's not seeing any playing time. He can't line up properly.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but you're only going to do it. I don't know. He's just been doing it since what? Middle school, high school? I don't know. Oh, my bad. Let me see if I can bring my mic
It's
up.
just one of those frustrating games. I don't mind losing a game, but we literally could do anything we wanted. Yeah, we couldn't stop the run, and I'm telling you now, it's not our tackles that's the problem. They were running to the outside. They continue to do it. All you, I mean, our defensive ends are playing like shit against the run. That's just the bottom line. You know, DeMarcus Lawrence, kid's getting sucked in, and Armstrong is not good against the run. He's not. So they're running to the outside. They're starting inside and they're breaking it outside. Our guys are collapsing in the middle. Until we get that fixed, we ain't gonna go anywhere. But you've seen us stop the run before. We're allowed to be upset. This is event day, so make no mistake. I still think, you know, they're a 98% chance to make the playoffs, regardless of what Eastside Herald says. That's not me saying that. That's history. Okay. I had them losing, you know, to Minnesota next week. I had them winning yesterday. So again, if we go into Minnesota and win, then I'm still going to be upset because we could be that much closer to the Eagles. But it's all for naught. But if we lose next week, then we got 3 straight home games. We ain't going nowhere, Eastside. We ain't going nowhere. We'll see you in the playoffs. But I got news for you. If you throw the ball 45 times, we ain't beating anybody. So I'll agree with you there. We ain't beating anybody.
I agree. I mean, that's the thing. So, it's like we
had
this
Dak's
whole game plan.
Throws for over 40 times.
Yeah, we had this whole game plan going in. You know, do Cooper Rush being out there. You know, we run the ball. We let him, you know, just kind of manage the game and stuff. And, we're going to do this. And then the first game back, obviously, we kind of eased Dak. I mean, he still was kind of throwing some stuff. And you're like, okay, that doesn't mean that you just start slinging it. You know, they did a better job of kind of, you know, managing the game the second. This one, they just kind of.
Phil, your mic's low, they're saying.
Yeah, I know. Mark is.
Okay. As long as you saw it. Hey, JoJo, how are you? Angelica, Eastside, even though you're annoying me, I love you, bro. Mike Aldana, what's going on?
Let me see if I can.
Yeah, we got a small crowd. Splash Bruta.
I mean, it's one of those things.
Bad route running. EJB. What's up, guys?
Let's see if I don't get an echo. Tell me if I get an echo, guys. So,
once again, KM ran the ball, get the lead, and went past Happy. Yeah, I don't know who to blame.
Me neither.
JoJo, I'm gonna throw everybody under the bus because there's a big secret in Dallas. Nobody wants to listen. I love Dak, but when he does something bad, I'm gonna keep it real. He needs to be careful with the ball. This is literally 3 weeks in a row that he's thrown the ball over the middle of the field. Whether it's the receiver, whether it's him, listen, dude, it falls on you.
I agree.
Like we can't keep making excuses. I'm sorry, and I love Dak. He's my guy.
Well, no, and that's the truth. It's just like you got that turnover. It's about to turn the game into a whole different direction, and then all of a sudden, bam, he just throws this pick, and you're just like, you know, whether it was Dalton Schultz supposed to be keep going across to the top or whatever the hell it was.
Schultz's fault.
But he shouldn't have been throwing it there.
He ran a shitty route.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
That was Schultz's fault.
I still saw a linebacker there, and I mean he did get it somewhat past the linebacker. I just didn't see it open from the beginning. So for me, it just was really bad passes on his part. Even when he was crossing, I mean, CeeDee Lamb's not even looking when he throws that across, and by the time he's past the safety, then he turns, and safety's already picked it off by that point. So
the problem I have with CD at times is he's talented. You see how talented the guy is, but in his own mind, it seems like that he's one of the guys. Instead of running a route like the balls come with you every time, and you need to be on your P's and Q's, be at the spot, because if you're not at the spot, the ball's going to be picked off.
Yeah,
you got to have that mentality. Say what you want about Amari Cooper, that was his specialty. That's why you need a route runner. That's why, like these high speed and talented guys who come out of college and don't make it in the NFL because they don't know how to run a route. That's why you need to be precise. And I think CD is a good route runner, but he will get lazy mentally at times. Like, I may not get the ball. He may not have been the first option. Whatever it was, he has to be like, dude, This is my ball. I'm the only guy. I got to make a play on every snap. That's how he's got to approach it. And another thing, Phil, me and you have been talking about getting Turpin the ball, okay? All of a sudden, it's 4th and forever, and we're going to bring Turpin in on the 9 route. And the other team has to call a timeout because they're concerned because they know that like we have a speedster out there. Can we get him in the game earlier, please? Can we get him in the game on offense? It's only going to open up the field. What are you doing, Kellen Moore? Keep your boy number 85 on the sideline. He can't get separation. The only way he gets separation is if Dak's rolling out, and he's rolling out, but they don't seem to call that anymore.
No.
Dak didn't run the ball but one time. Why aren't they putting Turpin in unless it's a desperate situation and they want him to run? Why can't we do that a couple times before it's desperate?
Mm-hmm.
That's my question to you, Phil. Why can't we do that?
I just know that there was times where I had to kind of walk away yesterday just because you could kind of see everything kind of.
Yeah, I texted you a couple times, and I could tell you're upset because you didn't get right back to me.
Yeah, it was just I was pissed. I'm with a lot of Cowboy Nation, man. Today was not one of those days. It just wasn't feeling it, man. And it was just, and you're right when you say it was really feeling like that week 1 loss where you feel like, man, what the hell is going on? Where is this team? What direction are we going? And obviously you understand that this team has talent and everything, and you know what the coaching can do, but man, when it really falls apart, it seems to really fall apart for them. And you're hoping.
Even saying that,
go ahead.
We're going to be in every game.
Yeah, we are.
That's how good we are. But that's the problem. And I see Kellydar is in the chat. What's up, buddy? I see he doesn't have 100% effort every play as an outsider watching. Yeah, I don't know if it's effort, but you're right. I guess ultimately he mentally is not ready to go every play. Now, getting back to Tolbert, that's why he's not playing. He obviously is not. You got to do the basics, and lining up is the basics. Just like how Minnesota won yesterday is because Buffalo couldn't execute a snap. That's the only reason why they won. The basics have to be done. You do that in training camp, okay? And you can blame the official all you want because because he looks over at the official, and it's the official's job. Normally they do it. They don't normally call that because the official's involved in getting them lined up. He looks over. Now, if he didn't look over, I'd bench his ass because there's a lot of leeway there. You look over and he tells you to back up, and you fly back. You can't have that, man. And we didn't lose because of penalties, but that phantom holding on McGovern was ridiculous. All these things go into play, but this is what I told you the other day on Saturday, Phil. I said, if the game is close, I don't have faith that we're going to win the game. As soon as I went to overtime, I told my son, I said, something weird's going to happen. I said, either Green Bay's going to get the ball, go down and get a touchdown, or I said, we're going to get the ball and we're going to screw it up somehow. And that's what happened.
Yeah, so these guys need to get it together.
Cowboys? What's up, man?
Yeah, these guys need to get together. There's a lot of stuff that, each position can almost can identify that what they did wrong in this game. And so even within the coaching staff itself. So, it is definitely something that they can, you got to push it. We can all be pissed and the team can be pissed, but at some point you got to push it behind us and get ready for Minnesota because Minnesota is not just a walk in the park either. And I'm not saying that Minnesota is going to blow us out, but there's a reason why they only have one loss. Yeah. And so, there's times where Kirk Cousins will give you those turnovers, but he's also has the ability to kind of come back on you. And so, the whole history between Dallas Cowboys and Kirk Cousins, I think, I don't know the records in general, but I think we have the upper hand there. So, what do you think about the matchup going forward?
I think we can go in to beat Minnesota. I think they got some flaws, like Kellydar said on Twitter. I'm aware of that. I just don't expect us to go to Minnesota and win, but maybe it's weird. I didn't have us losing to Tampa and then beating Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll, go into Minnesota to win. I don't think we go in there and get blowed out. I really don't. I think they really took Green Bay lightly. I'm sorry to say. I told you about this bye week thing. And yeah, they're good that
Yeah, they
they're
don't play
healthy,
well.
but mentally they may not be ready to go. And they didn't seem like they were ready to go right away. But they always make great adjustments at halftime. They get the two touchdown lead going into the fourth quarter. You don't lose that game, but you stopped running the ball. And then when you got to that last series where he knew in his head that he was going for it, it was what? It was like 2nd and 4, 3rd and 4, 4th and 4.
Yeah.
He didn't run the ball at all.
That's what I'm saying, man. Run the ball.
We're averaging almost 6 yards a carry. They couldn't stop our run. I mean, you run to set up the pass. You don't run, then get into an important situation. And it's not like they were running 12 personnel. They were running 3 wide receivers, sometimes 4 wide receivers, and they were just letting Dak read the field. As much as I love Dak, that's not his strong suit, reading the field.
No.
Sorry, but that's not.
No, it's true. I mean, it's true. I mean, you got to kind of have people running around. He has to know what they're going to be running in order to make a true play. And you're right. I mean, I think this option routes is really getting to them. Not knowing he kind of has to wait a moment to see what the receiver chooses. So instead of being able to anticipate the routes and being able to throw him to that position, I mean, he's having to wait, see what the receiver does, and then react. And so, and then when he did anticipate, seeing where he's at, CD did the opposite. So, and I don't think that's. As much as CD, he should have came across the safety. I see it as he saw the safety coming down and he could get wide open behind him, and that's what he was going for. So, I see everybody to blame in those type of things. Now, as much as those options, I still see, I'm with you where Dak makes those certain plays during the game that you're like, what the hell was he doing? Like triple coverage or something where he relies on that arm a little bit too much.
That we didn't run more read options. I wanted some read option ourselves. I told you last week that's what we need to do. Why didn't we do a QB sneak on 3rd down with that? I mean, what are we afraid of? I mean, we have to win a certain way. If you look at the numbers, Dak's numbers when he throws the ball over 40 times, it's a little bit less than 500.
Yeah.
When we are
24
30 and under.
24/7 Cowboys
give me
says
the number. I know it's close.
He goes, why do you think that our coaches never have us prepared? He's pointing out some these opinions. San Francisco game, obviously Tampa in this year, even last year, after the bye week, Green Bay after the bye week, freaking last year. I mean, think about Denver and how they kind of tore us apart as well. But yeah, you're right. I mean, when it comes to preparation, it just doesn't. It seems like by the first quarter, they're like, oh crap, a football game's going on, man. Like. By that point,
I was annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was annoyed that I saw Parsons.
I see. Yeah.
Lined up at the linebacker all night. Sorry, I got a text.
No, I did too.
I don't understand. Get Armstrong out of the game every once in a while. Or
yeah, he's not great at the run.
Lined up at the other end and rush him. Put another linebacker in. I don't understand. You're just having him run around. The guy's got a groin, and you're having him run, because Anthony Barr, who you didn't think you were ever going to get, you finally get Anthony Barr, and he's out one game, and now he lines up at the linebacker spot all game, basically. He's rushing from the linebacker spot. That's like the easiest thing to defend, because, I got Aaron Rodgers to point him out. It's not like he was walking up and down the line of scrimmage or they were trying to fake anything. Remember in the preseason, they were talking about the D-line standing up, moving around the linebackers. No, it was none of that. It's just, I don't understand what this team is doing. They're going to blow it if they don't get their shit together. I'm not a Kellen Moore fan. I don't care what anybody says. They didn't run it enough. People go, well, they ran the ball over 30 times. They threw the ball how many times, Bill? Yeah.
What they threw back to pass 46 pass? Yeah. I mean, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Running the ball.
And I'm pointing out the fact that, I definitely think those choices by Dak was not, I mean, you can only put the options out there. Obviously, the guys actually have to execute, and like we're saying, a lot of breaking it a lot down. I mean, there was a lot of fingers to point here. There was a lot of blame across a lot. But one thing that was my bright side was that the running game was doing really well. So it makes you wonder with a guy like Malik Davis, with of course Tony Pollard, Zeke being pushed aside here, just being able to rest. It makes you realize that you do have a running back and a running game there, even without Zeke in there. So it could mean things for the future.
How are you,
if Ezekiel Elliott doesn't take a team-friendly type of contract where he's, re-signing and not re-signing, but, restructuring to kind of make it more team-friendly where we can have some money.
Right.
It goes to show you that, we could definitely have a tandem back there if we decided to do Tony Pollard or even do the franchise tag.
I don't have a problem with Zeke. I mean, listen, I'm not one of these guys who I have to have Zeke. To me, if Zeke wants to be on the field, he's going to have to take a team-friendly deal, and that's it. You're going to have to. I don't think he's getting this huge contract somewhere else, unless team is so under the cap they're going to throw a lot of money. You want to go play for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Zeke? You're more than welcome to. I want Zeke on the team for the intangibles, for at the end of the game. Now, you can say what you want to hear. A lot of people, I love Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is explosive, but did you see Tony Pollard pull himself out of the game in the fourth quarter in the most important series of the game? I did.
He was tired.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And I love Tony Pollard, don't get me wrong. But he waved. I'm like, I looked at my son. I'm like, what's he doing? We need Tony on the field.
And I think that's
I don't trust Malik Davis to not fumble the ball in a huge series. He did good, Malik, but he's a rookie.
Yeah. You
need to know, my man. You need to stay in there and suck it up. You're an explosive back. That's why I know you got the ball a lot. Was in there for 70-some plays. You got the ball how many times? 30? Close to 30?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like 26.
Balls in his hands, whether it was pass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with passing as well.
We needed 30. Yeah. We needed 4 more.
Yeah.
But it's just that it just annoyed me. Not that it had a big bearing. So,
yeah, no, I mean, but crazy. It was a lot of things. A lot of things. It was just, every single part of the aspect, everything. Even when they scored a touchdown, you still had that uneasy feeling that we're just like, oh my God, is it going to be enough? We get up by 2 touchdowns. I got a little bit more relaxed. But again, that feeling started creeping up when they weren't running the ball, when they weren't doing the simple things. It was just simple game plan. That's all they wanted.
They weren't running 12 personnel.
And so when the plays work. Yeah, when the plays were called with the passing game, the receivers were not getting open. Their Dak was not reading the plays correctly. So, I mean, there was a lot there. So, I mean, there was execution by the plays that were actually done, and then there was the lack of play calling on the one side. So, I mean, and then, again, like I said, it's the first time for me that I saw Dan Quinn really kind of, that defense did not look up to par. But again,
it reminded me of Atlanta Falcons from 2 years ago.
Yeah, but then again, it's just like this offense did put them in a bad position very quickly. There's so much things.
And that's fine, but we also got a break off. We got 2 breaks. We got the fumble on the kickoff, and we got the ball deep in the red zone. So we got the breaks too, that evened out to me.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I don't like Dak's interception.
That was a terrible
We got a couple breaks. And fumbles, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it was a game that we needed to win, and we didn't win. That's the one game this year that I was heartbroken. I could be upset about the Eagle game, but we had a backup quarterback going in on Monday night into Philly. Trust me, people, I told you it was going to be a loss. If Dak was there, we could possibly win, since Dak's record against the Eagles is 7-3. He pretty much owns the Eagles, and that's a fact. But he wasn't. And the first game of the year, they just got blown out. This was the first game that was like, holy, you just gave it away.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's going to hurt our playoff, but let's see if they learn from it. Now let's turn the page.
I think this is a point. I think this is the point where I'm going to try to get this. I'll still be stuck in there.
I'm done. I'm moving on. This is my vent session. People need to understand that we're going to call it out and keep it real. Bill's not going to, and me, we're not just going to say everything's great when it's not. This is one thing I'll say, and if Mark Holmes is still listening, he'll cover your ears. I can assure you one thing: what happened last night would not have happened if you know who was coaching our team. If Sean Payton was coaching the team, you could say anything you want. His teams play fired up and doesn't let that shit happen. Now, I don't want to give up a high pick for Sean Payton. I want this to work out. I don't want Mike McCarthy. I don't want Dan Quinn. But this team just not wanting to stay in the limelight and accept, success. They have a problem right now accepting long-term success. It's like they win a couple games and then they get all, I don't know how to act.
Yeah.
You go out and you keep doing it. That's very frustrating, this game, man. I can't stress that enough. Kellen Moore sucks. I don't care what anybody says. I'm done with him. But let's hope that he has an epiphany and gets his act together. Or Mike McCarthy, takes over the play calling, because what I saw in the fourth quarter wasn't good enough. CeeDee Lamb made a couple unbelievable catches. There was a couple that probably should have been intercepted. Dak's lucky he only had 2. I mean, am I wrong with that?
No, that's what I'm saying, man. Some of those things, he's just kind of throwing it up there. Mary Alvarez says, we won't have a chance like this one we had yesterday to get the revenge in a while. I need to stop thinking about the whole team choked. Yeah, it's true. It's kind of one of those things that just lingered. I woke up just depressed.
After this, after this game, I see Mark's comment. Well, because I didn't think you'd like that, Mark. I'm gonna let it go. But this is our vent session. I'm not happy. I don't like what I saw at the end of the game. These players, say whatever you want. They didn't come out and win for 60 minutes. Say whatever you want about Cop Hizzle. We were not a 60-minute man. Yesterday.
Well,
I don't know, Phil. Did it seem like that? Like when we wanted to do something, we could do it. Didn't it seem that way? It's like, oh shit, we gotta get out and score.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that, when they're third in, they get backed up, not thinking about it. They're like, oh yeah, 3rd and 21, and then bam, Tony Pollard down. All of a sudden 26 yards. It's just like, what is this? Like, it's like when everybody actually is focused at the same time. Other ones, whether somebody's mind wanders or something, I don't know what happens there. But that's when you see the penalties all of a sudden commit. The wide receivers not, breaking their routes right. You're not maybe seeing, one of the running backs pick up a block, switching. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. By not switching.
Back, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, so there's a lot of that stuff there, and then next week you could see them all of a sudden. You're having this doubt maybe about Minnesota, and then they come out and then they'll all of a sudden destroy Minnesota, and you're just like, oh yeah, and then they just kind of get you back up again.
Speaking of Minnesota, I'm watching this catch now. That was arguably the best catch I've ever seen by Justin Jefferson.
Oh, Justin Jefferson is just
tearing it up. Did you see the Justin Jefferson catch?
Yeah, I did.
That was an unbelievable catch. That's arguably, I'm not saying it's the best catch ever, but that's up there. What he did on that play, he was not to be denied. So I'm going to take this time to say, hey, Philly 500, Justin Jefferson ain't ass.
That's not ass.
Ain't ass.
So who do you got tonight? Who do you think is going to win tonight?
Eagles win tonight.
Oh, I think they destroy.
For a while.
Oh, really? I think the Eagles destroy Washington. But I mean, Heineke could probably keep it close.
Think it'll be. Listen, I just don't. Eagles are going to be that team where they're going to be the darlings. And then when they choke in the playoffs, it's going to be like, the sky's falling. But that's fine. I can't say nothing. Again, they're getting the job done. They're not messing around. They beat the Minnesota Vikings. We can argue that they beat Minnesota early in the year when they did. They beat them. That's the bottom line. We can't ifs and buts for candy and nuts now.
They got the one loss for it.
So let's go into Minnesota and win. I mean, they're unbelievably talented offense, Minnesota. So if we call a game plan like we did yesterday, we're not going to win this week.
No, man. We need to get back to the
predict them to win. I'm just telling you now. That doesn't mean they won't win, but I was all over the score, like if you believe it or not.
I was all over the score too until
28-14.
Fucked up. Like
but I said it was going to be 27-20. It was going to be 27-13 with them getting a late touchdown to make it 27-20. Well, it was 28-14, and then they got a touchdown. It was
28-14.
But I didn't expect.
Yeah. Man, they just needed another touchdown. I would have been right.
Is them to shit the bed and allow a scrub receiver who's fast and not jam him at the line of scrimmage to get a free release. Who's going to beat 80% of the? You're playing one-on-one with the guy. I don't know what you're thinking. What kind of technique is that?
I don't know.
We're letting people get free releases.
You need to start learning. Yeah. Well, you need to start learning that, especially going into the playoffs. I mean, that's your main thing. Playoff teams play man coverage. I mean, you're usually going man to man with somebody, and that's playoff football. So you need to kind of get used to it. Start to learn how to jam people.
And bland. You see what happens is when the game is close. When the game is close, and it shouldn't be close because you let them get back in the game. Stupid stuff like your D-back falling down happens.
Yep.
That's part of the game. There wasn't fell down.
No, and those are learning mistakes. I mean yeah. And so you hope like later on in the season, whether it's playoffs, whether it's what are those things, hoping Bland can cut one of those routes. I have more faith in that he'll do that than slip in every single play. So I mean, if you're seeing again them already slipping in other spots like the kicker and everything, then it just says a lot about the condition there. And that shit just happens. It's like when a ball kind of goes flopping out of a fumble and it smacks back right into the running back that fumbled it. You're just like, really? Like sometimes that shit just happens. But I'm with you. I'm with a lot of the Cowboy Nation. I'm pissed off. Today was just not one of those days. I had a rough day throughout the whole day. There wasn't anybody outside, really giving me crap, but it still was shitty. I'm sure you were the opposite, where everybody was giving you crap at work.
Yeah, I'm getting lit up on them. Yeah, I get Eagles fans on Twitter that aren't even my friends I get these DMs ask me to accept their message. I look at it and it's like a Eagles pitcher, Jalen Hurts pitcher, it's like, okay. I don't understand how us losing, I guess you guys should sleep better. I've never been that way, Listen, if we're one game, the Eagles win. I could care less if the Eagles win tonight, because I told you at the beginning of the season that it's not about who wins the division. Yeah, it helps to win a division. Sure it does. It's about playing right and playing good going into the playoffs.
Yeah, because we
look at the
last
Niners.
year.
They were a wild card team. I could give a crap where our seeding is at this point. I know Cole's was saying we got to play we got to be the 5 seed. Listen. If we're playing good, it doesn't matter what seed we are. We're gonna go. I mean, we're just as talented as anybody. I'm just, and I'm gonna stick to my guns that we can only get better. Hopefully, we learn from this, and we look back and laugh. That's what we could hope for, or look back and go, "You guys were talking your junk." But we ended up doing what we got to do. I
want to say hi. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it a lot. She found the link in there and gave us support, bought us a beer. So I much appreciate that, especially on a downtime. We need a beer to kind of just mellow this shit out, man. Just kind of forget about it. But I appreciate it, Mary. I really honestly do. That goes a lot. I can get cameras and stuff like that, So I very much appreciate it. But yeah, I'm man. I woke up in the morning just in a bad mood.
I didn't even have time to put my red light in here. I was gonna make it red just to make it more mean looking, but I literally walked in, turned on my computer, and hopped on. So. And
then the audio wasn't working.
That's about it for me, Phil.
And that's what I'm feeling too.
Is this next game, how we play, win or lose, how we come out and fight, is gonna say a lot about this team. And that's all I'm gonna say. How we play in Minnesota is gonna say a lot about this team. If we go in and play like crap and get smoked, or go in and do a lot of penalties, I think we're going to sit back and go 4 wide and sit back and let Dak read the field time and time again. If that's what we do, then we don't have a chance. But I have faith in my Cowboys. I think in these times is when they're going to come in, rally the troops, and play a whole 60 minutes. Mm-hmm. Now show me. We'll learn a lot from this team.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
We
will learn a lot after this next game.
I agree. I definitely agree. You know, when you wake up and you realize, you know, that everything, yeah, you just not victories aren't just going to be handed to you just because the mismatch or whatever. You still got to come out and actually play it, and even when you're up ahead, man, you got to finish it out. You got to finish out these games, especially if you get trying to get ready for playoff football. And some of these teams, man, they do have the ability to kind of sneak back up on you, so you need to be able to slam the door on some of them. So anything else you want to say before we get out of here and we come back on Saturday to talk about this Minnesota game?
Yeah, I want to apologize. I didn't want to be too mean tonight, but I didn't have time to decompress from work. I come in and I know I had some stuff I wanted to talk about. Listen, I'm not happy with what happened yesterday. We gave one away. Don't give me this Aaron Rodgers BS. If we do what we have to do, we win the game. Even though it was ugly at times. But after tonight, we're going to throw it away. I'm going to watch some of the Eagle game, you know, see how they're. I mean, I think it's going to be closer than what people think, but I expect them to win. Bill sees an Eagle blowout. But I'll just say to everybody, we're going to learn a lot about our team next week. And that's what I'll say.
No, I think that's great. Very good job to stop the broadcast on. I appreciate everybody in the chat, man. You guys coming in. Honestly, I thought there were going to be like 5 people because after losses, man, it's hard for me to want to watch some of this stuff talking about. But, you know, I need to see it just so I can hear other people's reaction to some of this stuff as well, too. But it's nice to kind of vent it.
Thanks for saying that.
What's he? Oh, regardless, thank you for hit the like.
Yeah.
Once I think with YouTube, I'm gonna try to figure out again. It's just something on here where I have to figure out how to try to get it on here. And I know YouTube, once I hit past a certain amount of subscribers, like 1,000 subscribers with so many hours, then it allows me to start putting all this stuff onto the actual broadcast. So,
yeah, we'll make it fun for everybody.
So, and obviously during the off season,
fun as it is.
You guys are awesome, man. You guys have a great subject. You guys have great takes and everything. And just like you guys, I'm pissed off about this loss, man. And but I'm ready to move on, man. I'm definitely ready to move on. And I think maybe tomorrow I'll feel better because I know after this I'll still feel that downness. But I'm definitely ready. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button on the way out. I appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you, Bryan, for joining like always. And don't forget to always ring that bell.
Hey! We know each other. He's a friend from work.
What you do, you're like a little screw loose type of guy, and that's how I am. So I'm digging it, big guy. I am.
Who are you?
You.
No, not me, you.
Yes, I am you.
Just answer the damn questions. Who are you?
GameTime Bryan, otherwise known as the mailman here,
Cool name. Superpowers?
broadcasting from the illustrious Jobu Studio.
Come on, are you gonna tell me who that is?
Primetime Phil, and of course my co-host, GameTime Bryan.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this place is going to explode. $100,000, I don't even need to hear it.